Welcome to My Long Island TV. From Manhasset to Montauk, we have traveled our communities to bring you the following events. I'm your host, Waldo Cabrera. My Long Island TV starts now.
This is one of the last surviving houses on the Gold Coast that is publicly owned. It's owned by New York State. It's run by the state parks, and at the mansion, it's run by myself. I am the executive director of Planting Fields Foundation, and we do exhibitions and concerts and lectures. This is our big summer exhibition, Cocktail Culture, and we have over 100 artifacts from the 20s and 30s and 40s, gorgeous clothes by Charles James, by great designers, by Dior. So it's a very exciting show, and this evening we're here at a special party, and so you get a sense of the sort of life of luxury in these houses as it was. We sort of recreate it for this evening. Cocktail Culture is the title of the show of the Gold Coast years. It is to capture the sense of how after the First World War, even during the Prohibition era, new and exciting clothes, many of them which were originally designed in Paris, really took off. And haute couture in Paris became the great center of fabulous clothes. And we have a lot of those fabulous clothes here. We have a magnificent cocktail hat in green by Schiaparelli, and it has rhinestones in it, and it's a sort of great surrealist masterpiece, this hat alone, in the exhibition. So there are examples from each decade right through the 1950s. The earliest clothes of the decade of the 1920s represent this revolution in women's clothes where skirts became short, and it was considered very shocking to see women's legs. The skirts were just really tubes, often with no sleeves, but they were magnificently decorated, made of great silks with wonderful beads, glass beads and rhinestones, and those are in the show. So the excitement of this new high style of clothes that were American but were also European is what we start with in the show, and then we end with a mini dress from the 1960s representing the sort of cocktail culture of the 60s. So it runs the gamut. It's a visually very exciting exhibition to see. And Mr. Coe, when he built this great mansion, built a huge cellar downstairs with triple doors to it and a great safe door to hide the fact that he was buying liquor in 1918 and 1920. We have all the bills for the liquor he bought. He spent the equivalent in today's buying power over $400,000 worth of scotch and champagne, which he put into this huge cellar. And then next to or connecting to his private study, he had a secret bar built that you press the paneling and the bar opens up, because this issue of no drinking was going to be, and it lasted, in fact, just over 10 years.
I don't think there was a place in the country that was more glamorous than the Gold Coast. And Oyster Bay was at the very hub of all of it. The grandest parties were given here. People had 300-foot yachts. The style was very flattering to women. Women were sort of small-bosomed, and if they weren't, they had to squish their bosoms to flatten themselves. And they were, boyish and freedom of movement and doing the Charleston and dancing, as opposed to the previous 10 years, 10 years earlier, when women had to wear corsets. I think people will come away with a little sense of glamour about the period just by being here. They don't have to do anything special. Just by being here, there is a sense of the old world, glamour.
I find it incredible that this was a summer house and it wasn't used every summer by the family. It's just very interesting to be here. Plus the grounds are absolutely gorgeous.